Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article. Now this is from Fox News, written by Marissa Schultz. It was published on June 5th. And I just love the hypocrisy, double standard thing going on here with how the Democrats looked at, the protests of people, not liking their constitutionally defined inalienable rights that the government shall not infringe on. Protesting that, saying, oh, well, all those people ending up in the hospital, you're the ones causing it because you're out there spreading it. But, look at this here. I mean, I do understand the up to 14 days for showing symptoms and all that. But they ignored that when they pushed that narrative. So when they get the same standard put against them, it's a different story. Look at the title here. De Blasio claims spike in COVID-19 hospitalizations not linked to massive protests. Now, that's actually pretty funny because, people like him, Whitmer and others, I think he even said that, you go out and protest, you're going to spread this. It's you causing the spread of it, so on and so forth, or to that extent. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the article here. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio revealed Friday a 75% spike in coronavirus hospitalizations since a day earlier, but rejected the suggestion that the spread could have been caused by massive protests in the wake of the death of George Floyd. Which, it's reasonable to say that, but he's being held to the same standard that they held the peaceful protesters, not the ones going out and looting and shit like that they were saying, "Woo, we're afraid of our lives because of these people." Not those. These people that are out looting and shit like that, they're not wearing masks, and if the only reason why they're wearing masks is because they're trying to hide their identity type shit. I mean, it's funny. But yeah, basically, that has nothing to do with it. Well, at the moment it doesn't, and he's going to try to play it down. Watch, if they have a spike, he's still going to try to play it down. But later in the article, they go on with him here, and he basically, we'll see but in 14 days, but I don't think that we'll see a spike. Well, when you have as many people as you have out there, yeah, I think you might. Anyway, I would be surprised if that's what's causing it, said de Blasio. De Blasio said Friday, of the sustained demonstrations that have broken out in the Big Apple and cities throughout the world. I think we're much more likely in the next week or 10 days to see a manifestation if there is one. Now, we could be seeing, to some extent, the spike because of it, not necessarily the max of it, but that the incubation period in some people is a lot shorter. I mean, this doesn't have a set incubation period. So some of them could be. Not saying, saying none of them could be is a different story, but some of them could be. Still, de Blasio urged all demonstrators to get tested for COVID-19 and warned that protesting is risky during the pandemic. Yes, but it's something the Democrats want to exploit right now. So it's whatever, gonna let it happen. It is dangerous to be close together, de Blasio said Friday at a press conference after another night of protests in the city demanding racial justice and an end to police brutality. Well, what gets me about the whole George Floyd situation, it wasn't necessarily race-driven. See, they try to make it about race because, you got a white cop, even though there was, one of them was East Asian out of the four. Out of beside, you had Chauvin and the other three officers. One of them was East Asian, and they tried to play white racist cops, and then it was people were going, hey, wait a minute, one of those guys isn't like the others, and they went so yeah, now it's systematic racism and shit like that, and they ignore the fact, they're trying to play down the fact that both Chauvin and Floyd worked at a restaurant, a nightclub, doing security. They had for a year together, for over a year. I'm more likely to believe that because of that prior relationship, there's some bad blood, perceived bullshit, whatever, that Chauvin acted like a dumb fuck, vengeful little scumbag with, and put his knee to the dude's neck to make him feel pain for whatever perceived slight there was. Real, whatever slight there was, perceived or otherwise, whether it was real or not. That's what I think happened. The number of people admitted to hospitals with suspected cases of COVID-19 jumped from 48 people Thursday to 84 people on Friday. Well, that's a pretty big jump. You're getting close to like doubling your cases there of admissions. I don't like that, de Blasio said. While adding the numbers are still below the 200-person threshold needed for New York City to stay on track with reopening Monday. Meanwhile, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is often at odds with the mayor, on Thursday voiced more concern that protests could be spreading the virus. Well, it's more than likely. If you were at one of these protests, I would, out of an abundance of caution, assume that you were infected, Cuomo said Thursday. One person can affect hundreds if you were at a protest. Yeah. I mean, in theory, these people should assume that they're exposing themselves, but they really don't care because, some of these, you do have the peaceful ones, but you have the ones that aren't being peaceful. You have the ones that are murdering, as they're robbing, like, pawn shops, murdering, he was either an off-duty or a former cop helping his buddy out by doing security on the dude's pawn shop. You have, them looting places and shit, and saying, well, I'm going to get mine. It's ridiculous. You can't say that's protesting, okay? And this idea of, well, this should be acceptable and it should be allowed is bullshit. Because to peaceably assemble, that's one of those conditions for you to be able to, have the government not infringe on your right to protest. To peaceably assemble. Anyway, I just found this funny because it is a little ironic that, people like de Blasio, just all these Democrats saying, well, if you go out and you protest having, your religious freedom and other First Amendment rights infringed upon because of the virus or your Second Amendment rights or anything like that, it's your fault that people end up in the hospital. When this goes on, you have, as I said, de Blasio trying to play like, oh, no, nothing going on here. I never said, we never said anything like that on this side. No. And just playing it like, oh, it won't happen. No, there won't be an increase in cases. Oh, no, never. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.